Hey, hey. Are we live? We should be. Let me just check one thing. Because I'm never too sure how it is with the audio. And I just want to verify that on my laptop. That surprisingly enough I'm not streaming from. Okay. YouTube seems to be fine, and Twitch says I am unstable, but that's not true. I mean, it is actually showing a really low bitrate. Let me just verify my settings. Okay, I've bumped it up to 6,000 out from the initial 2,000 kilobits per second, so should be way better now. Well, as you can see, I have lots of things to do, and not necessarily today. And one thing has already been done: the speedometer diagnostic from my Volvo, because I most often drive old cars. Not only, but I also have two old Volvos, and in one of them the speedometer has gone bad, but that's been diagnosed and the parts have been ordered. So maybe at a later date I'll move my stream setup to the place in the data center where I have my soldering iron, and we can do some multimeter diagnostic stuff with soldering. Okay, I just a quick second. I have some sort of message from YouTube. The keyframes should not be less often than 4 seconds. Why are my settings so fucked? The question is whether which of those options or those settings will apply without restarting the stream. That is the question. I've bumped it up to a keyframe every 2 seconds. I wonder whether it will, like, go away after a while. It does look poorly on YouTube. Oh, is my YouTube transmission private? Is my YouTube transmission private? Jesus, it's always with the YouTube that I have the most issues with. Because Twitch is perfectly fine. Yeah, it's private. So I'm gonna use that quick second to actually restart the transmission. So give me a sec. And we should be back. It should be fine now. And most importantly, I've actually had the encoding switch to X2064 instead of the NVIDIA accelerated one. Yeah, I'm gonna make this stream public on YouTube. Hey, it should be live for everyone now. Which is pretty sweet. Actually, this to-do list is a bit longer than that, but I didn't want to just clutter the screen with all of the things I need to do, and quite possibly I need to do them this week. Oh yeah, and it seems like more stuff is piling up. Oh yeah, some colleagues are writing to me on our chat. To fix some stuff. And I will do also that in a moment. There's always many things to do during the day. It's always like not enough hours. Initially I planned to start today's stream like 4 hours ago, but there's been so many things that had to be done. Like it's so difficult to make that all fit into an 8-hour workday, or even 10 or 12-hour workday. There's just not enough time. Oh. So yeah, actually, if I were to do anything today, I think I might start with the Harvester cluster. And I already have the ISO on my laptop. I don't have it on the USB yet. So I might as well just start and copy the ISO, so I have the bootable installer ready to go. Sadly, I can't really show you my screen. I have tried to basically hook this laptop via its HDMI output to my HDMI mixer, but it turns out that there are some issues and it's not being captured properly. It's either a scrummy mess or it's just black screen. So sadly, I can't really show you that at the moment, but I think that for future streams I will have that ready to go. Okay, so I need that ISO, so I have that in my downloads. And my drive is visible as SDB, so output dev SDB status equals progress and sync. Yeah, just to double check, SDB is, yep. With the AI models, I have been really interested, especially into the RAG ones, because with the RAG AI model, you can basically get a general chatbot AI model and then give it some additional knowledge without retraining it wholly, like some knowledge specific to your field or to your domain. So basically, in theory, you can get a chatbot, give it some database with PDFs or other documents, and then you can query that chatbot about that data. Which with the RAG models, it's kind of cheating, I would say, because you're basically supplying the data it is supposed to browse through in the query you're asking the AI. Which is basically done under the hood and you're not seeing that, but this is how it actually works. But hey, if it works, then why not? Why not? Okay. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3 should be a bit better now. I mean, this is the highest I can. Whoa. I think that was a bit too loud. Yep, I am at plus 25 decibels gain. Okay, so my ISO, I think it's halfway done. I will try to position this monitor so you can at least follow what I'm doing, maybe not necessarily exactly see what I'm doing, because that server I will be installing the harvester on has only VGA outputs, but we'll manage somehow. For probably next week I will have some of the thermal paste ready, because I have, like, it's not visible to you, but I have 3 servers here, and they need repasting. After 8 years they can use some thermal paste replacement, and sadly my Noctua I've had on hand has run out, so I've already asked my colleague to buy some more, and maybe for the next week I will have that shipped, and then I could also do some thermal repasting and maybe some server architecture showcase. Because with this camera I can do things like, oh, not that scene, like this. And I also have many amazing zoom capabilities. So there is a lot of stuff I can do, and there is a lot of interesting stuff. Just to make sure. Yep. Yeah, okay, so I'm actually getting views on YouTube, so it is much better now. Okay, I need to, meanwhile, it should be, the ISO should be almost ready. Oh, it might, no, okay, it will be enough. The ISO is 5 gigs and the USB pen drive is 16 gigs. I was under the impression that it's only 8 gigs or less. But yeah, just to fix some other stuff that's not actually listed in my to-do list but has been reported to me, I need to fix some checks in Isinga. I need to fix some checks in Isinga, and we have Isinga director, so thankfully it can be all done from the web UI level. Oh, yes. Okay, so I only have like 1 GB copied onto the USB out of 5, so it might take a bit longer. So like I said, I can fix the monitoring issues. It is quite interesting the way we check this. So basically, to make sure that you can basically check that the web page is fully loaded, we are searching in one of the checks for a string that should be in the fully rendered website. Which is very basic, but that's basically how it works. Oh my, I think that my settings with audio might at the moment just bump the noise way too high. So back. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Yeah, sorry. Should be a bit better now. If the fan spinning noise from the server I have next to me is a bit too loud, then do tell. Though actually, I might just check it on my headphones. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, test, test. Yeah, it's fine. Hooray, one of the checks is done, one of the checks is fixed. Now we need to fix some other stuff, because basically our whole web server infrastructure for the portal I am fixing the monitoring for has changed. And some physical servers stopped being physical servers and they don't really have everything exposed. But I don't think I can do all of that at the moment, but I will check anyway. By the way, I just can't stop thinking about how close we are to the release of the Frostpunk 2. I really like the first one. Can't stop thinking about it. I very often replay that game. I very often watch YouTubers play that game. I just can't wait for the Frostpunk 2. Yeah, I need to get myself access to some Proxmox servers. So I need to open my password cache. Cache? Yeah, it's a weird word to pronounce. Oh, and supposedly I've got an answer to my ticket, so we might actually try and do some AI on HPC cluster on stream today. Which is very interesting because in our HPC GPU cluster, I mean, basically, I've put on HPC because it's like way more exotic. But basically in our GPU cluster we have the V100 GPUs, which are maybe not the latest and greatest, but they are definitely faster than what I have in my other development server. And I have some NVIDIA Quadros there, on which the image generation takes about a minute and a half, and it's not even the highest resolution, so it basically takes some time. And I was just wondering how much faster would it be on actual V100s. So we might get an answer to that today. As you can see, even the dumbest ideas can be realized in a data center HPC environment. just need to fix this one last thing with the Isinga. I mean, my Isinga fixing methods might be basically hot glue at the moment. But what I want to do is at least to have some indicator that it's either a work in progress or that it needs to be done and not forgotten. Let's just try one last thing. I mean, thank God for the Isinga director, it's so much easier to deal with. I used to basically handle all of that by hand in the CLI, and goddamn, was that a pain in the ass to handle. Alright, supposedly everything works. So I may have actually fixed it for good. And my stitch patchwork fix may not be needed, and I might get rid of it. Okay. I'll just get rid of my patchwork fix, and then let's hope the USB is done. Ah, it's not that easy, sadly. Okay. Why is it connection refused? Does it have like a firewall? I mean, sometimes the hierarchy of values in Isinga is a pain in the ass too. Because it's basically expecting that you are monitoring everything under a host, and it's not like basically taking the consideration that you might want to add a host as a virtual thingy. So for example, you may want to basically monitor a web page, and you add that as a host, and then Isinga expects that host to be fully ICMP pingable, but it's not. So you add a service that checks for the HTTP content, and that check is fine, but the host itself is being reported as either having problems or offline, because it cannot be pinged. And I am pretty sure that you can fix that with either changing the host templates and stuff like that. But sadly, it's just not an easy thing you can click. So in my case, if the check for the HTTP content has to go through actually a different host, because it should go through the reverse proxy, it will actually try and go through the actual host IP that I've configured a level higher, which basically means the two hosts might be needed for that after all, actually. Yeah, and the USB pen drive is still the ISO is still being copied to the USB pen drive. I still have a bit of time. Yeah, this will be a problem. This will be a problem that I currently don't have an easy fix or a solution for. I also just might turn on the ICMP for that IP address on the firewall, and it should fix all of that. Yeah, let me check the firewall configuration. That might be the easiest and the best thing to do. Because basically the thing that's happening is that I have a NAT configured on our Juniper. And you know, NAT is a NAT, it's just a port forwarding. And that IP address doesn't really have any actual server underneath it. So it has to be done on the firewall itself. Okay. So how does that look for us? I wonder if I can on Juniper basically tell the NAT to pass the ICMP also. But I don't. Oh, so actually you can. Let's try that. But Jesus Christ, where in the navigation options tree is that option? Destination, rule set. It's probably security NAT. Destination, rule set, world. Show. Okay, I think that's okay. Edit rule. Hooray, okay. Okay, let's try that, and hopefully nothing has blown up. And it's not working. That might also be a whole other thing. because that VM that it's being NAT to, that the NAT to leads, might just have ICMP blocked on its own local firewall. Oh, I might just need a different rule. So maybe, edit security NAT destination rule set world rule. Okay. Okay, and now just to add additional separate rule, edit security NAT destination rule set world rule. Set match destination address. Set match protocol ICMP. Okay. And I don't think it's working. Shit. So like I said, it might be working, but that VM might have the ICMP actually turned off, which I don't really think is actually the case. But sadly, I don't really have the shell access to that specific VM I am trying to monitor, I think. Which sucks. And the password store I have doesn't really have many, doesn't really have all of the entries filled out. No, the ICMP is working, so it's, I guess, the Juniper fault? Yeah, I'm okay, so I've maybe created a natural, but I may also need a firewall exception. Yeah, it's probably that. So now I have this. It's so weird, this configuration. Oh, it's /27 network. Yeah, it always turns out that, you know, the very easy thing you are supposed to do turns out to be very, very complicated. It's always like that. Nothing's ever easy. I should be done in a second. I know I'm saying this like for a 100th time already, but this time I promise. Okay, this one thing is working. Finally, I think. And its services. Its services should be working too, and meanwhile, add another host. It seems like our Isinga satellites are taking their sweet time to actually perform the checks. So I will have my answer in a second. Okay, hooray! It seems like everything is working now. So Jesus, that took almost like half an hour to do. It wasn't really that complicated, but to get around my headspace that I was in some time ago when I was configuring that took me quite a while. And having said that, this is done. But you know what I also need? I need a second keyboard. Wouldn't you guess it? I have one that I don't need the most with the PS2 interface. But I also have some piece of shit old MSI. So let's see. Boot manager. Hooray, it sees our USB, so we can install Harvester, and I have actually had one attempt at that previously off stream, and the problem I've gotten myself into is that when you install Harvester, which by the way is like a converged virtualization platform that allows you to start not only virtual machines but also Kubernetes clusters, it basically requires you to have separate network interfaces, and I just basically went through that installation just by pressing enter and stuff. And when I booted it up, it didn't really work. So I guess I will have to pay much closer attention to the network configuration. Okay, you know, I don't really want to fuck around with the camera. I'm pretty sure I could get it to zoom to that screen and have it sharpened. Okay, so we have three options: create a new Harvester cluster, join an existing cluster, or install binaries only. We'll create a new cluster. We will now have to configure the partitioning schema and other fun stuff. Persistent size. I think that I would rather have at least 400 gigs. Hostname Harvester1 and management nick. So I think the currently running one can be used as management. Interesting. So, because it wants me to configure the bonding mode, so it basically says select one or more NICs for the management NIC, use the default value of the bond mode if only one is selected. Link speed is of currently selected interface is 1 gigabit per second. Harvester requires at least 10 gigabits per second for production. First of all, I call that bullshit. Second of all, I call that bullshit. Shit. Fucking hate those unclear CLI installation. Because I've basically pressed enter when I actually wanted to just pick some values from the menu. So I need to reference my IPAM, pick an IP address. Just need to find my subnet. Here it is. And I think I can go with this pretty address. And just call it Harvester1. I mean, if this is successful, then I will obviously move it to some other subnet and probably reformat those servers. Yes. Add netmask. MTU. Oh, how nice of you. Actually, ask me that. Configure VIP. Is this like virtual IP? I guess. Not sure what this is about, but let's do it. Okay, configure cluster token, and I have to input this by hand, so I will input some easy value. Optional, it asked me to configure NTP, optional proxy, optional import SSH keys, and optional remote harvester config, and continue, yes. Oh, it's 2 p.m. I may be able to actually run some HPC AI stuff. So let me log on to our access node. Oh, hooray, I think I see my allocation number. So I should be able to actually do some stuff. So I see it, but I don't think my GPU access server sees that yet. Yeah, now I see everything in my web dashboard when it comes to my access to the HPC GPU cluster, but I don't think the access node has been synced yet. So I guess we'll give it like 15 minutes or more. Okay, the harvester installation is going. It should be done definitely faster than it was taking it to copy the USB. I'm actually super curious about the harvester, because if it's like an integrated solution that allows you to run virtual machines and Kubernetes clusters, then I am pretty stoked as to why it hasn't been like getting more popular, at least as much popular as Proxmox is. I also need to check the email from the AliExpress because, as I've said, I've already done some basic diagnostics on my speedometer. And I've ordered some chips just for the sake of it. Okay, yeah, AliExpress has confirmed my order will be sent out in 2 days. Okay. Interesting. I mean, it's interesting that you can still buy some, let's say, legacy stuff in China, from China, as basically brand new. So I'm not sure you can see that, but that basically is a chip that's responsible for translating the data from a sensor that tells it with what frequency a wheel is rotating in your car, to signals to the step motor that is responsible for basically showing you how fast you are going. So basically for handling the speed dial and for the odometer to turn. So basically that chip has at least 30 years. And you can still buy it brand new in China. I mean, I wonder if it will actually be brand new, or whether it will just come, you know, from some used cars before they were destroyed. Okay, let me check my HPC access. I have gotten the confirmation that it should be okay. We have it pretty well secured with one-time 2FA codes and stuff like that. It's just that Google Authenticator can sometimes not refresh the code after the clock is turning, which is super fucking irritating, and I'm really wondering why is it still working like that? Is nobody else having issue with that? Is it only me? Hooray! Okay, so I see that Slurm has actually gotten the data. So let's try and... okay, yes, it works. Now I can actually queue the AI tasks on the GPU cluster. Hooray! Now I have completely different set of problem to deal with. Okay, so now I have, because it's been like 8 years since I've last run anything on HPC cluster, basically ever since my master thesis. So I need to refresh myself on how to make the... I mean, actually, it shouldn't like ask me that some module is not existing, because I do have all of my virtual environment supplied. So I guess it's not activating that. I mean, yeah, because I have to solve that if possible. By the way, yeah, the harvester is still being installed. I have to solve that by having that virtual Python environment actually activate instead of anything else, because there is a shit ton of libraries there. And at this point, I would really love to actually show... Oh! You know what? I can show you. I think this is what I've been preparing, actually. Let me just move this to this. This to here. But the thing that I want to show you is that first I will just log to the access cluster, and then we can just debug everything together. Jesus fucking Christ, I hate the Google Authenticator so much, but I have so many codes here that it's difficult to change. Or is it my numpad being retarded? Oh, okay, my username was wrong. Yay! So now I can show you that. Hooray! So now I need to jump to, and by the way, the harvester is being rebooting, so I guess it's almost done with its installation. Yay! Yeah, everything is visible. Oh, let me remove that pen drive. And yeah, as I was promptly pointed out, the virtual environments are not movable, and I've basically copied my whole AI directory, so we can just remove our virtual environment. By the way, I guess that okay, this might take a while to execute, but I guess that my HPC storage is being mounted as my home. I will check that in a minute, but I guess this is how it is. And judging by the speed, I think that is exactly how it is. I mean, on a Lustre storage, some basic operations can take quite a while. While harvester enter. I mean, yeah, definitely. It's around 300 gigabytes, I think. CD, AI, RM, RF. Let's remove that VN in total. The question is, can I just recreate it now, or should I create the virtual env in my job script? I mean, I will do very basic thing and try and create it now. By the way, what's 368? Isn't that super old? Let me verify with the host I have my testing environment on. And if it is super old, then I might need to do that as I said, so basically define everything in the job script. Yep, so I need at least Python version 3.11. By the way, let me just... Let me just check if that harvester actually has web UI. It might not have any. It might just be manageable via Rancher. It doesn't seem like a harvester has a web UI. Like in the same way the Proxmox has. But I do have a Rancher. I do have a Rancher deployed, and I can just try and pointing the Rancher at the harvester and see what that will give me. So let's see, cluster manager. Sorry, not create, actually import existing. Oh, so it's not out of the box. It doesn't have harvester. No, it has. Okay, so it has harvester as an option. Import existing, generic. Okay, so it's not as easy as it seems. Okay, I am getting some information that actually the Python 3.11 might not be available yet. So I need to figure out how to deal with that conundrum. Let me just see our help section or how-to section of our HPC Center, because we do have some help messages. I wonder if I can just bring it on myself, or do I have to write a support ticket? It's definitely something more This is something definitely more than I can chew on the live stream right now. Okay, I guess I might just Python 311 tarball. Yeah, nothing is ever easy. So, give me just a second. Can I? I guess I can. Let's switch properties and let's give you my Brave browser. You can actually see what I'm doing. I could also expose my whole screen, but I may just do that in a second. Windows, I am not on Windows. Source release. Yeah, you know what? I think maybe in a second. Okay, I'll just move that one directory up because that's actually a pretty nice naming schema. Remove my nasty So I have source. I don't think I should be able to run this on the access login node. Should I just wrap everything into a script? Wait, what's my... quota limit. Yeah, I am definitely way below the file limit, so that's okay. You know, just so you know, I am actually getting some help on my work chat off stream. And my colleagues are basically yelling at me, "You fucking idiot, just use the interactive session." So I might do just that. Okay. So now we actually have interactive session with our allocated resources. No devices were found. Oh, okay, I may have interactive session, but I don't think I have any GPUs associated with that. Yeah, let me break that interactive session. And let me just add to that, because I think this will be alright. gres equals GPU1. Actually, I wonder if this will be enough. Yay! We have V100s. Okay. So let's go to Python, make. Oh, I have first configure. Then make. I am so new to this. I haven't done anything like that in 8 years. So I guess my next stream will be way better organized. By the way, what time is it? It's 12:30. Half past 2. Yeah, I have the correct screen. So while the Python is being compiled with the actual version we need, I may check the harvester because it's now currently supplying me with 2 IP addresses, and I think that when I've done some initial installation the day before, oh yeah, sweet web UI. Okay, so it actually has the web UI. We just had to give it a while to initialize. Oh, password has to be 12 characters. Huh, that's a requirement. I can just copy whatever I have here and just for now, because it is development anyway. I just need to see that web UI initialized. I just need to see the capabilities. Oh, so it's super similar to Rancher. Hosts, volumes, virtual machines. Okay, so just so you can see this, I know it will be very shitty to see, but that basically is Harvester Web UI for the cluster that we have installed here. So it actually has something. Let me just quickly create a VM. And I mean, I would really like to have all of those screens available to throw onto the OBS, but my HDMI mixer doesn't really like the output of this laptop, and I'm not really sure if this is like Linux fault, my Sway VM, or anything else. I mean, it definitely works normally when I'm just plugging in some external monitor. So I guess it might be the mixers. Oh yeah, I do have like management software for that mixer, because I have like statically configured that whatever output is going on this laptop HDMI is full HD, I think 60 Hertz. Anyway, okay, virtual machine create, test VM. Let's give it 1 core and let's give it 2 gigs of RAM. But it seems like the storage is node scheduling, VM scheduling, advanced options. The one thing I am not seeing is how can I tell it to actually install anything from an ISO. I can create VM. I'm not sure I can actually do anything with it. Oh yeah, it actually says disk 0 image is required. Oh, okay. So it has like image option, like image section of the side menu where you can download image. So let's go with our trusty Debian. And I need to come back to that Python, so I can basically just maybe tell it to make install. Though make install might not be perfect. We'll see. with Rocky Linux there is actually some issues with setting Python environments and their alternatives. It's actually quite manual process, but we'll see that in a second. Meanwhile, let me grab that delicious ISO image. Oh, and that harvester basically is pre-installed with the Longhorn as the storage class, and wow, it actually auto detects, because I am basically, I know you can't see this, but I've copy and pasted the download URL from the Debian website, and it basically auto-detected that, one, it is an ISO, and second, that this is a Debian. Oh, okay, so it basically says cannot create file access denied, make install error. So it might just try, it might be installing that in a system paths and not locally. Yep. Okay, so our official doc says that I am an idiot and I've actually forgotten to add a prefix. So we can do that. Okay, so actually maybe let's go to the home, create mkdir my apps, go back to the Python and configure that again. And then make again and make install. It might be faster this time because it actually has some artifacts built already, so it might be way faster. Meanwhile, go back to my harvester. Actually, because I know that my developer VLAN is quite accessible, I can actually show you. Yay, okay, so let me just duplicate this scene again, and let me add window capture browser. Yay, I can show you, but I know that writing the password will be a fucking pain. Let me tell you that. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so that's admin and the password is, and Jesus Christ. Oh, sheesh. Okay, so I've actually inputted that properly. So, yes, this is the harvester UI that I've installed on this server behind me. And as I told you, supposedly you can create Kubernetes clusters and VMs in one single solutions. So before I go back to that Python, I may actually do that real quick and just have it make and build everything. Then now we can go back to the browser. I can create a virtual machine. So let's call it like test VM and like Debian test. And let's give it 1 CPU and 2 gigs of RAM. Volumes, I guess those are default. It requires me to point to the ISO. The VM only contains a CD-ROM volume. You may want to add additional disk volumes. Yes, I actually want to do that. So let's give it 10 gigs. Storage class default. Seems fine. Do I need to... Okay, so create is later. Networks. I don't really have any networks installed, so I might as well leave it at that. A node scheduling on any available node. Specific node. Live migration is not supported. Run VM on nodes matching scheduling rules. Okay. VM scheduling workload selector. Advanced options. Rerun on failure. OS type. So it actually detects what sort of Linux are we going to use? Instance labels. Okay, for now let's just create. Unschedulable. Insufficient memory. Huh, that's interesting. Oh, yes. Ha ha ha. Yeah, so I might have configured 2 terabytes of RAM instead of 2 gigabytes. Restart. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. And console. And okay, so it's off. It's starting. Okay. Open in VNC. And I know you quite possibly don't see that VNC window, but it's blank yet. It's taking some time to actually start. I mean, like to start whatever, because it's just white screen. Supposedly it's running, so what the hell? Maybe I need to disable some Brave. Oh no, it's working, it's working. I think I can add another window capture. Okay, so the very basic functionality of just creating VMs is okay, I guess. Let's just like install whatever VM. But yeah, this is the network installer, so it probably won't be able to connect to anything. Oh no, it did connect. You know what that means? That means that okay. Actually, I don't know what that means, because I don't think that it connected to to the actual management network of the hypervisor. Actually, I just want some easy, stupid password here. I don't think that it connected to the hypervisor network. I think it connected to some local Kubernetes-like networking backend. And from that, it might be just being routed via NAT. Virt.io block device. What the hell is this 1 megabyte? And you know, the one thing I don't like already. I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but it's VDA instead of SDA and SDB. I mean, it's not really a deal breaker because, you know, everything is being based on universally unique identifiers. But still, I am so used to my SDAs and SDBs. Swap partition, no. Okay. Okay, and while this basic thing is being installed, yeah, our make is successful and we can make install. I wonder if in Harvester I can just, you know, directly attach VLANs to VMs. I suppose I can. It might it might just not be as straightforward. Because let's explore a little. We have networks, cluster network. This reminds me a lot of Xen. Oh yeah, so there are like separate networks for VM. Load balancers, IP pools. Degraded. Okay, so I guess it's not really degraded, it's just being correct. Oh no, it might be degraded because it's only on this one local node. No contest for me today. Just the CLI, please. What about our... Hooray! We have installed the Python. You know what? Give me a second. I just need a quick bio break. Be right back. Hey, I'm back. So our Python is installed. Our VNC is disconnected. Suppose it couldn't. I think it didn't survive the VM rebooting. Oh, it did. It just timed out. Yeah, install grub. Let's go with VDA. I think that was our initial installation partition drive. So let's just finish with this one little thing, and then focus on the AI. I mean, looking at this, I'm really surprised. Why is this not more prevalent than Proxmox? Or maybe it is slowly getting more popular, and I am just unaware. I mean, I guess Proxmox is more mainstream. I mean, it has been around much longer, and thus many people are more experienced with it. But from what I see here is that, you know, you have your backups, you have your networks, and, you know, most importantly, you have your Kubernetes cluster creation capabilities. So, though interestingly, I can't really see a way to create a Kubernetes cluster from the Harvester web UI, which is weird. This is like one thing I've expected it to be able to do. Ooh, vGPU and PCI devices. So if I like run a Kubernetes cluster, it can be like GPU capable. Like just like that. Oh, okay, so this is like, okay. So Proxmox does this automatically after the initial system installation, so I guess not really, I mean, Proxmox is not really that smart. But Proxmox does is after you do a first boot with ISO, it then moves your CD-ROM device to be second or last one in the boot chain options, and here it's still the first one. So I guess I need to go into my VM options and let me maybe move that up so you can see. Volumes. Can I like kill this? Yeah, I will stop it for now. Yep. Replica scheduling failed. No fucking wonder. Edit volume. Can I remove it? Why is the ISO like 10 gig in volume? I mean, I can imagine why, but still. Yeah, okay, so this is the ISO, I guess. Yep. Cannot delete the volume, which is currently attached to a VM. Why only stopping? Why is it not stopped yet? Okay, force. I suppose it cannot just send a signal because it's stuck in the ISO. Okay, yep, now it makes more sense for everything to be locked. Though now it should not be locked anymore. Can't I like remove that from the VM point of view, from the VM level access, from this menu here? Like, what the hell? And as you can see, the boot order. Okay, yeah, I'm thinking like Proxmox, so I just not as a Kubernetes. So I always forget that you have to switch yourself to the config view. Yeah, now it makes a whole lot more sense. Now I can click, unmount, and basically remove it, save, and start. The other thing I need to check, I should check, is that can you do this live with running VM? Yeah, oh, okay, as you can see, it has some sort of internal management network address, IP address. Okay. So it seems to work. apt install. Let's sudo htop. One last little thing I want to check is what is the CPU info telling us? Because one other thing I haven't seen is what type of CPU does this VM have? What has it chosen for itself? Is the like QMOK VM generic CPU, AMD 64, KVM 64, stuff like that? Or is it something else entirely? Can you see everything? Yeah, you can, even though I am a bit squashed. Oh, fuck you, Harvester. When I've specified 2 gigabytes, I've meant like 2048 megabytes, not 2000 megabytes. And I think that that text box that was asking me for RAM had actually the proper GIB, not GB, which is a bit confusing. Okay, never mind. Let's check the CPU info. Oh, so it actually does the host. Genuine Intel Core processor Haswell. With most of the flags, I am pretty sure. Bugs, Meltdown, Spectre, blah blah blah. Okay. Huh, interesting. LSPCI, Intel Corporation, DRAM controller. And okay, dpkg -l grep guest. Okay, so it has also auto-detected and installed QEMU guest agent for itself. So now if I just go into my virtual machines and tell it to stop, it's basically shut down. And it has shut down. I hope gracefully. Okay, so Harvester is working. I mean, just as a proof of concept, but it is. We can go back to our HPC AI stuff. Scripts are all installed, blah blah blah, which is not on path. Let me just check how to add to path, because I never remember the proper formula to not destroy all path. By the way, yeah, where am I? Okay. Okay, so it's not really my apps, it's just Python, but you know, just for our purposes, it's fine. Export path equals home bedrogo my apps bin $path. Yay! So our path is first, so it's basically being checked first, and now we have proper Python version. We can proceed. We can proceed. Okay, so now I need to create my virtual environment. So cd AI. By the way, cat my gen AI. Python free -m pip install upgrade pip. Was it like that? We're trying SSL pip is configured with locations. However, the SSL module in Python is not available. Huh. So it might be that the pip requires TLS 1.2 connection. Okay. Python free mvenv. Yeah, the good question is that whether the venv is even installed with that. I think it is, because otherwise we would already have an error. Yay. Okay, now I need to remember how to install all of that, so I might just reference the Hugging Face website again. Okay, to use, install the required libraries as follows. And it's still not being able to connect to the website. Yeah, I mean, it has to be underlying system issue. Yeah, problem confirming the SSL certificate. Has a HTTPS connection pool py.org. Max retriers exceeded with USL caused by SS. Cannot connect because SSL module is not available. That's so no. So the problem that I might be here is that I may have configured and installed the Python 3.11 without something. It has to be that. Oh, I always forget. Source. Jesus, I forget how to deactivate the And I don't really want to log out because I might just lose my instance. No, I always thought it was in the bin. I think our Python has compiled and installed without that module. Okay. The question is etc open. Oh, okay. So it seems like it hasn't detected OpenSSL, and I don't think we like have OpenSSL installed. Yeah, I don't also have those commands available. I think basically in this like instance, the OpenSSL is not available or is not installed, and because of that, the Python compiled without the SSL support. Okay. I mean, by the way, you probably don't know that, but I am actually chatting with the cluster administrator behind the scenes, and we are actually trying to figure out what is going on. I mean, truth to be told, it's not really expected that somebody will interactively try and compile Python like I am right now. It's just a patchwork solution. But basically, I think what happened is that the configure hasn't detected the OpenSSL. So if I configure once again and now actually read the output, history grep configure. Yeah, okay, once again, but this time via less. Yeah, I might have run that again and interrupted it, so that config log might be broken, but anyway, it seems that the OpenSSL version that we have available here is, I mean, it's actually here, it's just not new enough for the Python 3.11. And you know what, that's not really that surprising, because, you know, most often with HPC and stuff like that, it's not that you always require the latest stuff to be available. I mean, we will probably upgrade this and install whatever we need, but yeah, checking stdlib for SSL module missing, hashlib missing. Yep, checking whether OpenSSL provides required module APIs. Yeah. And I don't think OpenSSL can be backported because it is dependent on the glibc. So we might have learned a lot today, but we might not be able to run that on our HPC GPU cluster yet. I mean, it's so funny that without that you cannot even use pip. Should we try and compile the OpenSSL? Because, I still have some time available, so we can at least try. Because even if it won't succeed, then we can first of all try, and second of all, I can have something to come back to you with later. Okay, we don't definitely need OpenSSL version 3. We'll be very happy with something not necessarily that recent. Oh my, I so rarely use the OpenSSL, the GitHub. Okay, let's go to 111 stable. Jesus Christ. Last year, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 8 years ago. Actually, I do hope I won't hit my file quota. Not necessarily the size of everything, but just the counts of files. It's 40. Is it 4 million? No. No, it's 500,000. Jesus. Yeah, a way better idea can be what I've been suggested right now is to actually try and just get a proper version tarball. Actually just gotten here, so git status, git checkout, and what was that name of that branch? Open SSL. Jesus, that really makes you think how gigantic those projects are. Okay, dear. Oh. Okay. Has been successfully configured. Jesus, so many steps we need to do today. I mean, hopefully it's interesting for anybody that's watching. I mean, as for now, looking at my to-do list, I can actually update this. So, set up harvester cluster. Let's say done. Work in progress. And next time, for sure. And I was so ready to actually try to at least start tackling those RAG models. I've basically watched like 2 tutorials on YouTube yesterday. But they seemed like super interesting thing to do and not really that difficult. Hey YouTube, is YouTube doing this again to me? Is my actual YouTube stream not public? Hey! What the hell? No, it is public, okay. It's just that this online YouTube studio thingy is so weird about it. Let me try refreshing. Okay, supposedly it is compiled. Make install. So I guess that now when I will be configuring the Python, I need to supply it with a path to my freshly compiled OpenSSL. Okay. It's compiled, it's installed, it's here. So now back to our Python and history grep configure. We do this, and we also tell it to with OpenSSL, and it's home OpenSSL 111. If there's one thing I hate, it's those microphone like holders. I really wish I could have like like hanging from the top microphone arm. Okay, and now SSL, yes! We finally have the SSL, boys. I should probably do make clean, but I do hope that it will actually properly pick up what it needs to recompile. I mean, if you are new here to the stream, first of all, welcome, then second of all, please enjoy me recompiling lots of stuff to basically run some random anime generation AI model. If you are wondering why the hell am I recompiling all of that stuff, well, first of all, sit down, because what you will hear might just shock you. I am basically trying to run some AI models on the HPC GPU clusters I have available at my workplace. And you know, I may not be serious. Those clusters are serious. Serious business, I mean. So it's 3:30. So I guess I still have some time. I think I still have like an hour before I have to go. Building SSL extension, my guy, am I happy to see you here. Warning, renaming SSL since importing fail, cannot open shared no such file directory. Cannot build SSL module, requires 1.1.1 or newer. It might have not picked up on our SSL module we've built and installed. But no, wait, it actually did. It's trying to use what we have. Oh, wait. It might not have, we might not have the, I need to check that directory first, that's first of all. Second of all, thank you for the follow, Mosley. Hey, good to see you, how it's going? No such file or directory. I'm trying to make my to compile my Python with my compiled OpenSSL. It cannot find libSSL SO 1.1. So, but we have 1. Okay, so we have that. SO 1.1. Why can't you like access that file? It definitely should be working. I mean, I've kind of lost my site here. Where was that? SSO. I mean, the configure worked fine. So is it like make clean? Let's check our configure with OpenSSL. Let's try make clean. And let's try again. Because definitely those files and those paths seem correct. Okay, so configure is okay. Yes, SSL is detected. It was not previously. So, I mean, previously as in at the very beginning, when we started dabbling with this. Is there like maybe any sorts of other indicators of this being fucked up? Checking for OpenSSL in. Okay, so it actually sees this path. Whether compiling and linking against OpenSSL works, checking for... Okay, with OpenSSL, error path. Yes, yes. Default suites. Let me just check that Medium article again. Oh, okay. Add OpenSSL lib directory to your LD library path. So first of all, export LD library path. And just for the sake of it, let's do configure once again. I mean, I guess that makes sense. We'll see. By the way, I mean, it looks nice. It looks as if I've actually done something, so I might just leave this on just a bit longer. Okay, I also might add some text so everybody knows what I'm currently at. Yep, it seems that that is okay. Okay. We have that configured, so let's make this happen. Actually I should have, I mean, it's not really that slow. I may have actually wanted to request more CPU cores. I think it would be even faster, but it's still acceptable. I mean, if I knew I was doing this much compiling, who knew? Like, literally, who knew? I wonder if I should like make an edit of all of this in the style of Martin Sitopans. I'm not sure if any of you is familiar with my summer car saga that's currently being unveiled at Martin Sitopans' channel. Basically, the guy has to drive like 6,000 kilometers in a shitty jalopy car in my summer car game. Okay, we have that make. Now make install. Okay, make install, so Python 3. Version not found, because I made a typo. Okay, Python 3 pip. Okay, let's go back. Let's remove our previously created virtual env, Python 3 venv anime. Okay, source venv bin activate Python 3 pip install upgrade pip. Okay, so it seems to be, it at least seems to be working. Okay, so now we can actually go back to the very fucking beginning. And yes, it works. Pip works. We can install our dependencies. And since I have an interactive session, I can just launch my script. Sheesh, that took like an hour and a half. But we are so much smarter by now. We've learned so many new things. It's like Mr. Rogers. So many NVIDIA stuff being installed. I mean, I guess I should clean up after myself. I may be hitting that file count quota. But you know what? If nothing is like throwing an error, then I guess it's fine. You know, I wish I could like make a YouTube video out of that and just call it like generating anime titties on HPC cluster. Oh man, it may actually take like a minute or two to install all of that, because I think it also is compiling some stuff under the hood, but basically installing everything, all the environment. Let me check the Caligostro. I don't think it has anything else in the requirements txt. Sorry, it's Cagliostro. Yeah, thankfully it doesn't really seem to have anything else. Okay, it's installed, and I think it is, let's say, ready to go. So we have my anime Python script that I basically run on my previous stream on totally other hardware platform. We can change that, and aside from that, oh, okay, so actually I just might want to modify the paths. Yep. And here. And Python 3 anime is Go. If I remember correctly, it did have like a progress bar. The cache from the model has been updated, migrating old cache. One time only operation, you can drop this and resume the migration later by calling blah blah blah. Loading pipeline components. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking how the... I will have to copy this from the HPC cluster to my local Windows PC to display you this image. But we will see, we will see. Done! Okay, so... Oh, it's definitely way faster. So while I'm at it, I'll just generate one more. Let's have another one without the cache. How fast will it be now? Okay, so it basically takes it like 8 seconds, which is a giant leap forward compared to a minute and a half. And just so you guys know, this is like Tesla V100. So it's not A100, it's not H100, it's just the V100. Still, it's so much faster compared to the Quattro 6000 I have at my other server. Where has it saved that? Okay, so in my home. So now if I yeah, sorry, wrong login. And with my OTP code, yeah, but I think this is what I've been talking about, that the Google Authenticator sucks, and I don't really know when it started sucking so badly. Because it's not refreshing the codes when the timer expires. Amazing. Okay. SCP. Tetyda. Home. Bedrogo. Rysy. Copy. Here. Please. We have those. We have them here, boys. Or quite possibly ladies and gentlemen. But we have our results. This is what we've been fighting for. So, I mean, this is risky, but we'll try that. So I will basically delete those and create window capture. And shit. Drum roll, please. Because OBS is, I promise you, it's not me, it's the OBS fucking with you all. Let's just do display capture, and I think you can see the results. So this is the image number 1, and this is the image number 2. So, I mean, if you are thinking, why are they looking so similar compared to... What the fuck is that? Similar to what we've had on the previous stream, it's because I haven't changed the prompt at all. So probably this is because it's the same character doing the same pose with 2 fingers, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the point of this exercise was to basically check how much that all the GPU I have at my disposal is blocking me performance-wise. And it turns out that it's actually blocking me quite a lot. Yeah, let's count the fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's a good observation there. Funny thing is that if we look at the prompt, which is here, it basically says negative prompt, missing fingers, extra digit, fewer digit, bad hands, bad anatomy. So supposedly this is included in negative prompts, but I would say not enough. It still can, like, it can still slit through the cracks. Cropped, worst quality, low quality, normal quality, JPEG artifact, signature, watermark, username, blurry, artist name. And this is negative. And the actual prompt is one girl, Arimakana Oshi. Okay, so it's like a character from some anime. upper body, V, smile, looking at, viewer, outdoors, night. So it's basically like tags you can see at Danboru or some whatever other anime gallery. But yeah, as we all saw, some things can still slip through the cracks. But aside from that, this is a resounding success. We have not only managed to generate some output, we have also used a proper HPC cluster. We have actually used a production-grade HPC cluster to generate some weeb shit, which I think I can just like cross that off of my bucket list at this point. Okay, let me edit my to-do. Actually done with fucking maybe not flying colors, because we've needed to hop through some hoops. Thank you, Biały Lisek. I'm glad you actually were here to experience this with us. I mean, cieszę się, że też tu byłeś i widziałeś, co tu się działo i przez co trzeba było przejść, żeby to uzyskać ten efekt. Ale udało się. So now, I mean, this is just like a very starter thing to do. Like, this is something I've basically, I have basically done to mainly pick my interest in the AI, and you know, all for shits and giggles, all for fun. But actually, what I am super interested in, and you know, AI stuff, and image generation, anime generation, all fine and dandy. What I am really interested in, and have been for the past few days at least, is the AI RAG models. So in case you don't know, the AI RAG models allow you to take an existing and trained, let's say, AI chatbot, and without training it again, give it some more knowledge or context that is relevant to your either workplace, knowledge domain, stuff like that. So let's say you have a GPT model that only has knowledge of the world up until 2020. So with the RAG model, you can get that model, basically not do anything else with it, and just modify it without retraining so that it actually has knowledge about more current events. And to be frank, I would say that this is a very hacked way of adding knowledge to the model, but I think that it is very easy and actually quick way of doing it. So what's actually happening under the hood from at the point I am getting or understanding it now, is that we are basically creating your own additional database of, let's say, knowledge, but it's actually classified or vectorized data. And you are basically modifying the actual AI prompt. So what's happening with the RAG model is that you have your initial prompt. Let's say this is like one of the system prompts that you are not typically seeing with AI. So let's say that pre-prompt is like, as a helpful assistant, your task is to answer the following question in the most detailed way you can. If you don't know, say don't know, right? So that's in order to avoid AI hallucinating facts. And after that, the prompt you wrote is given, and with RAG model, the additional context is given after that. So you may have that initial pre-prompt, you may have your actual question, which may be, I don't know, who won the Super Bowl last year, and the RAG model will add, based on that input, it will, I think, also try and select the most useful documents or data from its additional database. It will basically do things like add another line of text underneath your question that will be like, try to answer this question using the following data as your resources. Try to use that data as an addition to your knowledge base. So you will not only have the pre-trained model, that knowledge base available, you will basically tell it to, hey fucking idiot, here's like a book, read that book and make use of that data also. So it is like a very hack way to do this, but I think especially for small application where you may have data changing by an hour, minute or a daily basis, it might be super useful. And I already have a use case for that. I already have an idea for that. I don't think I'll be able to do anything with that today because it's like after 4 p.m. and I need to get going relatively soon, let's say in 30 minutes. So I still need to clean up this place. But what I would like to try and doing is delve deeper into those RAG models and actually check their usefulness on the data I have available at my workplace. So the question is, can I just throw some text data I have and then basically be able to query the model with about that data, which at times can be a bit complicated and convoluted. Basically, it's like a graph theory stuff. But yeah, I'm actually thinking that it might be able to do that. So just to summarize what we've actually done today. So off stream, I've done some multimeter stuff with my speedometer, and I guess I'll do more with it on the next stream because I do have to check. That speedometer has an actual integrated circuit. Even though it's like 30 years old, it has an integrated circuit that I need to diagnose further. So maybe next time I will start with that on the stream. After that, we've actually managed to run some AI on the HPC cluster. We haven't done anything with the RAG models, and we've also actually set up and done some things with the harvester cluster. So I would say that this was pretty successful and productive, both day and stream. So actually something got done today, and that's really the best thing about today that could have been done, actually doing some proper work today. And just so you guys know, because I know that some people are watching, I would really like to thank my coworker Xahil, who was supporting me from behind the scenes with the AI stuff. He's the administrator of that GPU cluster, and he really helped me today to get through some stuff and to just, brush up on my HPC queuing system, stuff like that, and everything else, on my knowledge about that. This was a crazy day with that. So yeah, I think I will sit around for a minute or two. I will try to test some other accessing methods of that data we've generated. But if you have any questions as to what we were actually doing today and about any of that, then just fire away. Pum pum pum. And meanwhile, I will try to get some work done on some other stuff I have left. Yeah, you know what? It's time to end. Sadly, we've had many adventures today. But at some point it has to stop and I have to go home. Okay, thank you for being here today. Thank you for witnessing what we basically were doing today. It's been a wild journey and I hope I'll see you next time. I will try to have a stream every Wednesday. At least I will try to, like from the data center, about the data center stuff I do here. But yeah. If you want to try and catch me, then Wednesday is your best bet, I guess. So, thanks for today, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!